Across this great nation and around the world, Americans will pause this coming May and celebrate what we know as Memorial Day. They will gather to honor brave fighting men and women who for more than 230 years have underwritten our freedom by their duty, honor, and selfless service. We recognize that all of our veterans have given something of themselves to this great nation, and some have gone as far as to give their lives to defend the freedoms that we hold so dear. As we will gather and reflect on the blessings of our liberties, we need to be thoughtful and be good stewards of the freedom that we have. We must never forget that we cannot celebrate the joy of our freedom without remembering that great freedom does not come without a great price. There is a debt of honor and a debt of respect that is owed to the untold number of American veterans that have set aside their personal ambitions, their desires, and even their dreams to stand against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. We are the beneficiaries of those who have made and continue even today to make tremendous sacrifices for the advancement and surety of our freedom. We would remain and should remain completely humbly grateful to those brave American patriots who have suffered and sacrificed for the glory of God and for the freedom of all Americans. To all of our veterans, we have a simple yet heartfelt message, a message of thank you. Thank you for your service in peacetime and in war. Thank you for your service here in this great country and all across the world. I've been asked many times what it's like to be a veteran. I would say that as a veteran, I've done no more than what was my small part. In doing so, I have found the true definition of words like respect and cooperation, honor and pride. As I served, I learned what it was like to see a flag waving and stop and realize just how beautiful it really is. I learned what it was like to hear the national anthem and realize that I did a small part to keep this great nation, the land of the free and the home of the brave, just that, free. I learned what it was like to put others first as I stood watch so they could sleep through the night. I learned what it was like to look at fellow soldiers as brothers and sisters and realize that my life could end up in their hands. I learned what it was like to form a bond that bridged all sorts of gaps, gaps of geographic nature, gaps of social backgrounds, gaps of race, and gaps of age. Just this summer, I was in Gatlinburg, Tennessee with my family. My wife and my son were in a store, and I was sitting on a bench on Main Street. I happened to look over, and on the same bench beside me sat a middle-aged woman, and on the end of the bench was a man in a wheelchair, a very aged man. As I began to talk to her, she told me that her and her family had come to Gatlinburg since the mid-1960s, and this tradition continued as a family tradition, and it lasted even through all the years that family had grown and separated and now had children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, even to this man that sat there. I told her they picked a beautiful day to be there in Gatlinburg, and especially on the Strip that night. And she explained to me that this could possibly be their last trip as a family. Her father, now 93, had some very serious health conditions, and due to these health conditions, he more than likely wouldn't live another year. She then went to explain on how they had been there so long, but he refused to go in. And I asked her why, and she said that he refused to go in because he was waiting to meet a United States veteran. And I looked at the man and I said, "Sir," I said, "I served in the United States Navy for more than 5 years." He took his weak, frail hand and he saluted me. And as he did, he looked and he said, "Sir, I want to thank you for your service." You see, he was a World War II veteran. And he said he had been thanked so many times for the service that he gave his country that on this night, which could be his last night in a very important place with his family, he wanted to thank a veteran for keeping him free the rest of his life. As I walked away with a tear in my eye, ever so humbled, I realized that I had entered into a fraternity like no other on the face of the earth. The United States is the most powerful combat-ready nation in the world. There are 1.4 million men and women serving in active duty as we speak. There are more than 800,000 ready reserves standing by for service, all in over 100 countries throughout the world. The legacy of our veterans continues to inspire Americans to answer the call of the duty every day. I've always felt that it was an honor to serve my country, and I continue to serve today. I don't continue to serve in the military, but I do continue to serve my community. And I encourage you, serve your community with the same pride that the soldiers have had that have fought to keep it free. You see, it's been said it's the soldier. It is the soldier, not the preacher, who gives us freedom of religion. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who gives us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who gives us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the protester, who gives us the freedom to assemble. It is the soldier, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the soldier, not the politician, who gives us the right to vote. It is the soldier who not only salutes the flag, but serves under the flag, fighting for the country that flag represents. You see, it's the soldier. This coming Memorial Day, I encourage you to thank a soldier. May God bless you. May God bless our soldiers and veterans. And may God continue to bless the United States of America.